Warning, the following footage is of a game in its alpha build. Any criticism is meant to be constructive and is not representative of the final game. Hey there guys, and welcome to the first update to a Hat in Time alpha build. So, I know a lot of you guys may be watching this and thinking, but Chris, you just uploaded your first impressions of the alpha like a few days ago. They've already updated? Yeah, they have. And they've updated quite a bit, actually. So, right now I have a copy of the official changes that have been added to the alpha in front of me. I'll post a link to that in the description. It's on their website. So, first things first, you may notice that I'm not using a mouse, and I'm also not using, like, a ridiculously clicky keyboard. And that would be because of this option right here. So they've added in the ability to invert X and Y axis on keyboard and controller, which is very nice because it means that I can actually use a controller now. They've also, another thing that they've added is a rumble feature to controllers that support it. I'm using a wireless Xbox 360 controller, so that actually doesn't apply to me, but that is there for those who want it. Next, we have this, which is awesome, might I add. It is a speedrun timer. And it basically is a timer that does not take loading times into account, or introductory cutscenes. Like when you load into a level and it shows an overview of the level, that isn't taken into account in this timer. And that is really awesome for PC speedrunning. Because, like, for example, I have a friend who speedruns Mirror's Edge on PC because it's just faster on PC than console. And I remember watching his stream one time and he was really frustrated because he had just gotten a new computer. And his times just weren't matching up to what he had gotten previously. And so he was really frustrated. He was saying, okay, is this my fault? And he played a run or two on his friend's computer and got a new personal best by like 10 minutes or something because the loading times were so much better. And so the fact that this timer does not take loading times into account or introductory cutscenes, giving everyone an even playing field no matter what their build is like, that is wonderful. And additionally, I have a quote here from the actual developer himself on it. He said, quote, "The implementation isn't as neat as I'd like. Ideally, it should be just as good or better than what third-party tools support. But this is something I reckon we should polish at a later date," end quote. So basically what he's saying, admittedly this timer is pretty bare bones, and I believe it goes on a level-by-level basis, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't really used it very much. But just the fact that he acknowledges speedrunners to this degree, and the fact that he is putting forth support specifically for speedrunners is really, really cool. I like that a lot, and I wish more developers would do that. So, I mean, it is the alpha build, so it's pretty bare bones right now, but he's said that he's planning on working on it in the future, which is great. So, as far as the options menu are concerned, the one thing I would say is that they still have no option for rebindable keys, which would be nice because, for example, using quick dodge as right bumper and using the jump, oh my goodness, I'm blanking on what it even is. Just jumping forward and stuff, that is to the right trigger. So it's kind of awkward having two functions on right bumper, right trigger on a controller with nothing on the left bumper or left trigger. Likewise, I would like to be able to rebind it to like shift or something instead of control, switch the actions around on keyboard. Or, you know, for left-handed people who use keyboard and mouse, it would be nice to be able to rebind movement to the arrow keys or something like that and rebind some stuff around. So actually, they're currently using a community feedback tracker where you submit tickets and those get voted up based on other people, and then they kind of respond. They have several different categories. They have like ideas, questions, problems section to give thanks if you want, and yeah. So I've actually submitted a few tickets, one of them about rebinding keys, another one about the controls for the keyboard and mouse with the rocket and stuff, because that's kind of an issue. So let's see, another thing that they have fixed in this patch is you might notice actually that I have all of the hourglasses now, whereas I didn't have any of these hourglasses. One of the reasons I hadn't gotten any hourglasses in the Queen Vanessa level is because there was a major bug that caused me to die immediately at the same point in the level every single time, and I couldn't actually beat the level. But I figured it wasn't worth mentioning in my first impressions video because I knew it was an alpha product, I knew they were going to fix it eventually, and I didn't want it to affect my first impressions. So I have gotten through that because of that. They also fixed a rendering bug in a cinematic on the second floor of Queen Vanessa's Manor, which actually I never noticed that bug. So, but hey, they fixed it. So now there is just a few more things that I want to show you, and to do that I'm going to actually show you in-game. Also, you might notice I'm wearing a wolf mask. It kind of shows invisible things that you can't see without it. You get it at the end of the Queen Vanessa level. So the last few things that they have fixed are things to do with the water. First things first, they said they fixed an issue that people were having with rendering underwater. I don't really remember that being an issue, but they fixed it, so that's good. Additionally, a lot of people were saying, hey, I'm having trouble telling what's happening when I'm going underwater. How do I go under, like, how do I dive? How do I go up and stuff like that? So they have added a prompt to tell you how to dive underwater, and I would assume it would tell you how you dive underwater if you don't have a key, or if you don't have a controller attached. So for the final thing that they've added in, I'm actually going to be quiet really quick because it's kind of a nice fun little thing. So just a sec. So yes, they have added in music. Special music for the underwater section. Knock you off. So they've added actually individual music for the underwater sections, which is a really nice homage to like Banjo-Kazooie and stuff, and that really reminds me of that. So that is fantastic, and I'm excited for the rest of the music that they'll eventually add into the game. I'm really excited to get my copy of the soundtrack whenever they actually release that, which is, I'm assuming, probably going to be near, if not on, the final release of the game. But I'm excited because the soundtrack so far has been pretty great. I believe that pretty much covers it for all of the updates in this build. So I know the update, if you look on the site, the update was released on the 22nd. Right now I'm recording this on the 23rd. Who knows if I get this up before tomorrow. But I'm going to try and stay as up to date as possible. If I'm being honest, I was not expecting them to release the first patch so quickly after the release of the alpha. So many developers these days are just like, okay, you've got to wait and wait and wait, and eventually maybe we'll fix something. So it's really refreshing to see developers fully supporting stuff like this. yes, I believe that is pretty much everything I can talk about in this video. So I will be bringing you more updates in the future as they fix things, as they add content, which I'm sure they'll probably do in the alpha. Yes. So, thank you everybody so much for watching this video, and I will see you next time.